Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Farzy Show here at the Steven Singer Studios. My name is Marc Farzetta. All Eagles all the time. Morning rush. We'll get into a little bit of the Sixers and Flyers. What happened over the weekend, but we'll get there. I am, just as I was ecstatic about the Eagles beating the Broncos, which was phenomenal, the Eagles took care of business against the Saints team that had their backup quarterback, did not have Alvin Kamara in the backfield, right? They didn't have their best game. We all know that. But they still came out there and they played their best game, the Philadelphia Eagles did yesterday, and I am here for it. You guys at the link were there for it yesterday. I loved what I saw in the first quarter of this game. In the middle of this game, a little worried. All right, we're going to get the offense going again, but they got going again eventually, and Jalen Hurts was the guy that got them going again, especially in the fourth quarter when he led his team downfield and had an incredible 24-yard touchdown run to be able to really cap off the Eagles scoring for their 40th point of the game, which was great. Everything I saw in this game from Jalen Hurts said leader, it said franchise quarterback, it said smart quarterback, it said guy that will make a play for you when you need him to make a play. 3 rushing touchdowns in this game. The last quarterback to do that was Russell Wilson back in 2012. So pretty impressive that you saw this from Jalen Hurts tonight. Yesterday, excuse me. I was very taken by the way that he was able to accomplish what he accomplished yesterday. And I know a lot of people look at the passing numbers, and from a quarterback, you rather him throw for 3 touchdowns than run for 3 touchdowns. The way this offense was going yesterday, and Nick Sirianni admitted this after the game, and I think we all kind of noticed it during the game as well, he absolutely got conservative. We'll play that for you when we roll out the Rothman Orthopaedics locker room report, where he admits to being a little too conservative in this game, especially in the middle quarters. But Jalen Hurts was the guy that stepped up when the Eagles needed him to step up. And when I look at that one particular play that he had against Granderson, where he was running to his right, broke his ankles, to use that tired expression, and ran for the 24 yards, when you talk about sheer athleticism of a quarterback, I was reminded of Randall Cunningham, Monday Night Football against the Giants. Carl Banks hitting him, getting up, looking at it and go, wait, hold on, I didn't tackle that guy? And Randall bounced off it and then found Jimmy Giles in the corner of the end zone for the touchdown. When you talk about sheer athleticism, that Jalen Hurts play, to me, sheer athleticism. No matter what you do to try to bring this guy down, you ain't going to bring him down. He always has a play in him. And here's what I really like. Yesterday, there was a rare occasion of Jalen Hurts taking a hit head on. He rarely does that. One of the things that was so frustrating about watching Carson Wentz while he was here was that he never knew when to give up. And that's one thing that our friend Dan Orlovsky will even admit. When he talks about Carson Wentz, he still needs to know when to quit and fight another play. And by the way, how about those Colts yesterday? Jonathan Taylor, holy pots of pants. If you drafted him on your fantasy team, congratulations. But when you talk about being a smart quarterback, a heads-up quarterback, you have to know when to run up the white flag. And Jalen Hurts, for the most part, has done that. He took one hit that was head on yesterday. Everything else, he got on the ground. He slid, he dove, ran out of bounds, threw the ball away. Whatever it might have been, he was a very smart quarterback yesterday. But the reason they took the foot off the gas is beyond me. I don't care how many points you're up. You still want to be able to run your own offense and not get conservative. I'm not saying you got to bomb the football down the field 50 yards every time, but at least play a little bit more smarter game plan. Better play calling from Nick Sirianni would have been nice. But they came out of the gates in one of the best complete starts to a game that we have seen. And that really didn't stop until Trevor Siemian made the greatest throw of his life, that back shoulder throw to Troutman in the end zone, which he'll never make again, by the way. But that was a miraculous play. But really, up until that point, it was all Eagles. And then when you talk about the second quarter, the third quarter, and the early goings of the fourth quarter, you're waiting for them to get it going again, and that's when Jalen Hurts did. Let's jump into here to our Farzy 5. There's one half negative on this list. So here's your Farzy 5. We're going to start it out with number 5. Number 5, Miles Sanders. Let me start with the negative. What the hell, man? What? I know there's rust, okay? I'll acknowledge that. It's not an excuse. It's an explanation. I know that there is rust when you haven't played, 3-4 weeks? And now you're coming into a whole different offensive game plan where running is the most important thing all of a sudden. And throughout your entire career, it's always been pass. And now you're actually running the football. All right. Don't fumble. Please don't fumble. Don't do it. I know when you look at the stat sheet, and this is where I always say, numbers don't lie, but they sure as hell can deceive. He had one fumble yesterday if you look at the box score, all right? He had two. He had two fumbles because I'm counting that one that he fumbled even though the whistle blew because play was still going on, and he doesn't know what's going on around him. Have you ever been in the scrum? You ever played football like that? Like, if you ever played, like, the one thing I can take away from organized football is how hard it is to catch a ball that's over your head because of the shoulder pads. It's very difficult. The other thing is, like, if you're in the middle of a tackle, it's very rare that you hear that whistle, especially if you're in the middle of a scrum, middle of a bunch of guys trying to take down one guy. Oh, wait, his whistle? Okay. It's like it's got to be almost a whisper down the lane type of thing. Oh, the whistle. Oh, it's whistle. Oh, I got to stop playing. So you still got to protect the football. That ball can't go on the ground. That's half of Miles Sanders. That's the negative portion of it. He did say after the game he's not going to do it again, so fear not. That's the half of Miles that's negative. Now let's go to the positive. 94 yards on 16 carries. 94 yards. Those are the numbers right there that I know Miles Sanders can accomplish on a weekly basis. Because what did I say going into this game when I said, well, Miles Sanders is going to play in this game? It's going to be great. Miles Sanders, throughout his career, has been one of the most talented running backs in all of football. And you can't say that. Look at his numbers. Yeah, exactly. Okay, numbers don't lie, but they do deceive. I'm talking about talent. All right, I'm not talking about stats. In order to get those stats that show off and highlight your talent, you have to have a head coach and a play caller that is going to call plays for you. And that's something Miles Sanders has never had until he stepped on the football field yesterday. Never had. Doug Peterson sure as hell wasn't doing it. Now he actually has somebody in Nick Sirianni that is focusing on the run game and realizes that the best version of this team is to take their best unit, which is their offensive line, and throw it in the defender's face and say, deal with this. Number one ranked run defense in the NFL, New Orleans Saints coming into South Philadelphia? Not today, fellas. They came into this game yesterday. The New Orleans Saints came into this game with the best run defense in football. 72.9 yards per game is what they allowed on the ground. 72.9, best in the NFL. The Eagles doubled that in the first half. By the time the Eagles were done this game, they tripled the amount of yards per game allowed on the ground by the New Orleans Saints. More than tripled that 72.9 for the rest of the game. Who would have thought we'd ever see 4 straight games by the Eagles offense where they were putting up 200 yards rushing? I feel like I'm watching football in the 40s. Like, what the hell is this? I'm here for it. If this is the best version of you, throw it in the other team's face. Let's see the best version of you continuously. And that's what you got in this game. And Miles Sanders is a big part of that. Yes, half of it, fumble. Don't do that anymore. Please stop that. Other half of it, 94 yards on 16 carries, part of another 200-yard game by this Eagles offense. Miles Sanders, good to have you back. And now Jordan Howard, we'll wait to see what happens with him. He'll go through an MRI. Hopefully he's okay. It was a nasty hit that he took. He basically did a flip, landed on his forehead, and I think they said it was a back injury. All right, let's see how that comes out. Whatever it is, I hope it's not long-term. I hope he's okay. Hopefully he'll be in practice this week, but we'll see. If he's not, then you're looking at Kenny Gainwell be activated again because he was the one running back that we talked about going into last week that most likely was going to be the one to step aside. You can't sit Boston Scott down after the game that he had against the Broncos. You're working to sit Jordan Howard down, and you're not going to tell Miles Sanders, well, let's take a little bit more time. No. So now it looks like Kenny Gainwell, if anything is really wrong with Jordan Howard, it looks like Kenny Gainwell will come back into the fray. Miles Sanders comes in at number 5. At number 4, and it feels great to say this, Fletcher Cox. How about that? He had a tackle for loss yesterday. He forced a fumble yesterday. He nearly had a damn safety yesterday. But Trevor Siemian, he's slippery. He's spry. And he got away from it. But Fletcher Cox paid to get into the backfield. He got into the backfield, paid to force fumbles. He forced a fumble. Didn't have to really play any screens yesterday either. So there you go, Fletcher Cox. It's the first time he's been on this list all year. So great to see Fletcher Cox make it onto the Farzy 5 for the way he played yesterday. Really, I mean, those are the big plays that he made yesterday. And I thought, held down the line of scrimmage rather well. Defensively speaking. And he also fought off a double team to help force that fumble as well. And one of the things we talked about a lot throughout the year is, he's getting too many double teams. He finally fought through one. So that was great to see. He comes in at number 4. Number 3 on this list, in terms of importance, he's number 3. In terms of who I love the most after this game, he's number 1. But on the Farzy 5 this week, he's number 3. Jordan Mailata, ladies and gentlemen. Jordan Mailata is now every defensive lineman's daddy. I don't care who the hell you are. You now call him daddy. All right? That's how you're going to refer to Jordan Mailata from now on. Daddy. That's what you have to call him. Cam Jordan has to call him that. Who else has to call him that? Davenport has to call him that. Actually, Davenport has to call him that twice because Jordan Mailata owned his ass on a couple of different occasions. One, and this was disappointing, Jalen Hurts got pushed out of bounds late. He was a step out of bounds, and then he got the little shove from Davenport, and Mailata took issue to that. It was almost like a Chris Baker, Jason Peters type of moment when he was standing up for Nick Foles all those years ago in the second year of Chip Kelly. That was almost like that type of moment, except it didn't get as physical until later in the game. But I love seeing Jordan Mailata step up and not only do a great job blocking, which is the number one job of a left tackle. I mean, let's get that out of the way. But also showing the passion and leadership that he showed when he went after Davenport, saying, dude, that's my quarterback. What are you doing? Like kind of getting in his face a little bit, letting him know, hey, the ref might not have thrown a flag, but I got you. Ref might not have thrown that flag, but I saw what you did. And later in the game, tempers flared a little bit. And then the next thing you know, you see them scrumming on the ground. A little rugby scrum, if you will. Love seeing that from Jordan Howard. Jordan Mailata. The other thing was, again, I think there was a play to the left side, and I think it was a run by Miles Sanders, and you just saw Jordan Mailata just give a little just give a little forearm. There's a little push. One arm, knocking Cam Jordan down. Oh, yeah. All right. I'm here for it. I'm here for it every second, as a matter of fact. So that was great. Jordan Mailata comes in at number 3. Number 2 on the list, Darius Slay. Man's incredible. Man's outscoring offensive players now. 3 touchdowns last 4 games. Somebody put up the numbers. I didn't follow it up, but does he have more touchdowns than the Lions over the last 4 weeks? Because it's quite possible. This is what you signed him for. And I know this is now the perfect scenario for Darius Slay because after the Avonte Maddox punched out that football in Detroit and he took it to the house, after they punched out that football against the Broncos and they took it to the house, this was a pick 6. This wasn't a scoop and score. This wasn't anybody else involved in the play. This was him getting up there, jumping a route, and being able to take it home. And then I don't know if the link leap, is that what they're calling it? When he jumped up on the stands and just kind of started waving to the crowd. I don't know if that's going to become a thing. The leaping at the link. I don't know, but I feel like all leaps are they have to be just Lambo. But you know what? I'll take it. I like the celebration. I loved how fast he was on that route. I love how instinctual he was on that route. And when your defensive player scores 3 touchdowns in 4 weeks, I'm here for it as well. So shout out Darius Slay. He definitely gets into the Farzy 5 as well. Number 1, ladies and gentlemen. And I want to make sure I get this right here. When it comes to what you saw from this Eagles team and what they were able to do scoring-wise, first quarter, they scored 2 touchdowns, both of which, well, the first one was Dallas Goedert. There's no way he wasn't in the end zone. Came down the defensive player, rolled in, should have been a touchdown. The Eagles, oddly enough, quick snapped it. They didn't wait for a review. They didn't challenge it. They just said, the hell with it. It's 1 yard line. Our run offense is going to get it. Our rushing offense will get in that end zone. Sure enough, next play, Jalen Hurts runs it in for the touchdown. Then 5 minutes later, Jalen Hurts gets his second rushing touchdown. They're up 14-0 after the first quarter. The Eagles then didn't offensively score a touchdown until Jalen Hurts with 4 minutes left in the game. Almost 3 quarters. You went without scoring another touchdown after looking so great in the opening quarter of that game. That's a little worrisome. You settled for a lot of field goals there. Jake Elliott, great game by you, no doubt. It's hard for me to put a kicker unless it's a game-winning field goal. It's hard for me to put a kicker in there. But that's a long time. And the defense allowed them to still put up 29 points, But one of the things I did tell you going into this game that this was going to be a team in the New Orleans Saints that we're going to score a lot of points late in this game. Trevor Siemian, after a fumble 2 weeks ago, helped put up 22 points against the Falcons in the fourth quarter alone. Last week against the Titans, they put up 9 points in the fourth quarter. Nothing worth bragging about there, but still a lot of points in the fourth quarter. And then this particular time, they put up 22 points again in the fourth quarter. So they're a late scoring team. When other teams are like, you know what, I think we got this, they start rattling up the point, or ranking up the points. So, racking up the points. So that was just something that I was expecting from the Saints. And you were waiting for somebody to step up and make a big play. And I remember when Jalen Hurts was walking on the field for that last touchdown drive of the game for the Eagles. And I remember thinking, go make a play. Jalen Hurts, go make a play. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside made a play in this game. By the way, I have a negative on him too, by the way. But he had a catch. Good for him. But you wanted somebody to make a play. And I was hoping it was going to be Jalen Hurts, whether he was going to make it with his legs, with his arm, whatever. Make a play to cement this win. Make a play to nullify all the good vibes that were going the way of the Saints in this game. And that's why number one on this list of Farzy 5 for this week, Jalen Hurts, ladies and gentlemen. 3 rushing touchdowns in the game. Heads up play after heads up play. Never felt like he was putting the precious pigskin in peril, making heads up throws, making good throws throughout. If I had to nitpick and say there's one throw that he really should have back, it's that little out route that Devontae Smith ran that it looked like the ball was out of Jalen Hurts' hand just a little too late. Instead of throwing when he was making his break, he waited till he started to get upfield. And that's just, you can't do that. You got to time that better. And that was the catch that Devontae Smith ended up making, but going out of bounds. That ball's going to come out of Jalen Hurts' hand a little earlier. But that's it. Other than that, smart heads up, athletic plays, time and time again by this quarterback. And when you have a quarterback like this, it's going to make a play for you that late in the game, when it seems like everything else is failing, that's ultimately what you want. You want to feel like you always have a chance to win. And Jalen Hurts is certainly approaching that. In a game like this, where you still feel like you had the ball, the win in hand, he was the guy that say, all right, I'm going to go seal it up right now. And he put on a move that, again, I will compare to Carl Banks, Randall Cunningham, Monday Night Football back in the 80s. That's what that play reminded me of. Sheer athleticism, finding a way to make a play. And that's exactly what Jalen Hurts did on that particular play. There was another couple of instances that you saw that were some deep balls thrown. The one to Miles Sanders. I know some people might criticize Miles Sanders for this. You got to come back to the ball. It is very difficult to come back on a ball when you're streaking up the field. Jalen Hurts maybe put a little bit more mustard on it, and the throw gets there. Miles Sanders comes back to it a little bit. Maybe he makes that catch. The ball was there. Defensive back came over. The safety actually came over and broke it up. There's not a lot you could do on that particular play. It was a good play by the defensive back there. Yes, it would have been nice to see Miles Sanders come back for it. It's a little hard when your body is going one direction and you got to come back a little bit to try to catch that football. That's a little bit more difficult, especially when you're a running back. Wide receiver, yes, I'd expect a little bit more. Running back, not so much. But that particular play, definitely one that you would have liked to see complete. But the ball was there to make the play. Miles Sanders able to reel that in. You're looking at a touchdown right there. A couple of different instances in this particular game that you saw. Dallas Goedert had a couple of drops, but again, he should have had a touchdown early in this game. I was overall just really impressed with what the Eagles were doing. Defensively speaking, I'll give another honorable mention here to Jonathan Gannon. I didn't think after last week you'd see another aggressive game plan. I saw Alex Singleton charge Trevor Siemian, and Trevor Siemian just said, nope, not here for that. Spike it into the ground. You saw a couple of occasions where they did have an all-out blitz. An overload. What did Quentin Michael tell us 2 weeks ago? Hey, those blitzes against the Chargers, yeah, there was 12 of them, but they weren't really blitzes because you weren't sending 5. You were still sending 4. You were dropping a defensive end back in coverage to blitz a cornerback. Now you saw overload blitzes. I saw Marcus Epps, I saw Avonte Maddox get into the backfield on corner blitzes there and a safety blitz as well to get into the backfield where you were rushing 6. That's what I want to see. I saw Derek Barnett in the backfield. What? That's what you have to do. And I know it's Trevor Siemian. You could get away with doing that. But just like the offense, you got to do what makes you the best possible defense. If it's blitzing, blitz. If it's trying to force a mistake, force a mistake. Now, what does it all mean? Well, here's what it means to me. You now have the New York Giants, who are going to be on a short week because they're playing the old Monday Night Football game tonight against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers team. Coming off a loss. Hopefully they're pissed off. Hopefully Tom Brady spanks them good. Saquon Barkley looks like he will play tonight for the Giants. But you're going to be facing Daniel Jones next week. Sunday, I should say. Like I said, short week. Going to be a rough one for them. You can get away with a lot of the same stuff against Daniel Jones that you could against Trevor Siemian. You can be aggressive. You can force him into mistakes. He's a mobile quarterback. He'll run. He'll make plays. He will. But if you're going to force him into mistakes throwing, this is the way to do it. It's to get after him. Make him uncomfortable. Make him beat you. And you're also going to be very aggressive at the line of scrimmage if Saquon Barkley's playing in that game as well. We'll see how he comes out of this game tonight. But bottom line is, just like we were saying since the win against the Lions, sure, it's the Lions. But you can take a lot of those same schemes and philosophies, cut them out of that, and paste them into other games. And that's what the Eagles have done over these last 4 games. Even the Chargers game. Hey, it's good to see the effort. At least there was 12 blitzes. Fine. They didn't get home, but at least there was 12 of them. They were aggressive. They started doing that in some other games. It worked for them. They started running the ball against the Lions really well. They added it to their other games. Oh, my goodness. All of a sudden, they're 3-1 in their last 4. All of a sudden, they're 1 win away from being a 500 team. All of a sudden, you get to this point in the season when it comes to what does it all mean? You got the Giants, the Jets, Washington, Giants, Washington, Dallas. And Dallas lost yesterday to the Chiefs. Thank you, Kansas City. But when you look at all those games, those are all winnable games, especially if Dallas already has the division locked up at that point, and they're going to give Dak Prescott the day off. We said get to this point in the season, stack as many wins as you can. Now they're at that point in the season. They got the win against the Saints. I picked them to win against the Saints. They got the win. They went out. You're talking about an 11-win season. They have a hiccup on this schedule at some point, which they're bound to do. No team's as great as you think they are. No team's as terrible as you think they are, unless they're the Lions. But when you look at the schedule, I said get to this point in the schedule with as many wins as possible, and then you'll see yourself start to really stack wins. You can't play down to any of your opponents from this point on. Here's the thing I love so much about the way they're running the football. Nobody could stop it over the last 4 weeks, which is really nice to see. The other thing that I like is that when you run the football this well, you control the game. Like, look at what the Saints did. And they had no time to make up for that deficit because the Eagles were eating clock with how they were running the football. And when you can do that, when you can control time, you have a magical, mythical power. And that's what the Eagles do. When you control the line of scrimmage, you have that same power. It aids to that power. So for me, when I watch it, when I see how this all unfolds, just keep it coming. Just more of it. Just order extra. I'll order everything on the menu from this point on when it comes to the rush game or the running game for the Eagles. So that's what we're all here for. But again, you got the Giants, the Jets, Washington, Giants, Washington, Dallas. Very, very winnable games as the Eagles are jockeying for, dare I say it, playoff positioning. What? Ladies and gentlemen, this is quite the turn of events in the for the Philadelphia Eagles. Before I get to the official Rothman Orthopaedics locker room report, I do want to give you guys one thing real quick, and just a very general Nick Sirianni on the win for the Philadelphia Eagles yesterday. Here's Nick Sirianni on the win with one of his sons sitting there with him.
Yeah, I think it was a good physical game. That's something that we really wanted to do, was be physical in this game. I thought our guys really showed that, and I just continue to see. You know, you guys have asked me a little bit about identity, and I can just share with you what we talked about our team. And I don't think it's about plays you call or defenses you call or special teams calls you call. It was about us. Our team is close. It's a close-knit group of guys that connect, and you know, it's a physical group of guys, and it's guys that leave everything out there on the field. And so that's what we really talked about last night, because you know, you guys have asked me a couple times about identity, and what I just wanted to say to them is like, hey, our identity is these 3 things that I just kind of mentioned right there. And so that was really on display today.
Boy, was it. Every ounce of that. I think he only mentioned really 2 things, but regardless, they're throwing their best version of themselves at at teams now. And a lot of credit, as I've said for the last couple of weeks, a lot of credit goes to the good people of Philadelphia, Eagles fans everywhere that were screaming at the top of their lungs, be more aggressive defensively, run the football. And that's what they've been able to do over the last couple of weeks here. And it's really worked to their favor, to the point where they finally got their first win of the season at home. It only took 11 weeks. But how about that? How about that? Let me tell you about my good friend Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers before we get to the rest of these locker room report cuts. I want you guys to hear some great stuff coming out of the Eagles locker room yesterday. Let me tell you about Steven Singer. If I hate Steven Singer, I hate Steven Singer. Steven is giving every jeweler out there another reason to hate him. Steven Singer Jewelers, the best place to go for the number one gift this holiday season. Diamond stud earrings. With all the shipping delays and fulfillment issues, Steven is fully stocked and ready to go. The most beautiful, best value, real diamond studs anywhere. Choose a great pair of Anita diamond stud earrings for under $270. Under $270. If that sounds familiar, that's because that was the same exact price as last year. He's not jacking up prices like everyone else. He just wants the perfect price for you every single day. No sales, no discounts, no BS, no haggling. Just walk in, know you're getting taken care of every single day with the perfect price. Steven's real diamond studs are flawless to the eye, near colorless, and come with his famous full value lifetime trade-in guarantee. You can trade up your diamond studs anytime and receive exactly what you paid towards a new pair. All that with an unbeatable 100-day, 100% money-back guarantee. Go now to IHateStevenSinger.com. That's IHateStevenSinger.com. Order with fast and free shipping in time for Christmas. Steven Singer Jewelers, one place, one price. That's IHateStevenSinger.com. I can already tell I'm really going to enjoy, as we have over the last couple of weeks, I'm really going to enjoy the comments this particular week. But without further ado, let's check in with our Rothman Orthopaedics locker room report. So much to get into here. We're going to hear from Lane Johnson, Jalen Hurts himself, Miles Sanders, Nick Sirianni, and we're going to cap it off with my new crush. Oh, yes, that's right. I told my wife. She already knows. She's cool with it. She gets it. She knows me. But I got a new crush, and I think a lot of people in Delaware Valley have a new crush as well. It kind of reminded me of that scene in Wayne's World when he sees Cassandra for the first time, and he's like in the song Dreamweaver. Anyway, all right. So wait, let's get to the cuts. Rothman Orthopaedics. That's right, Jim. Don't look at me like that. Anyway, all right. Here's what I got. Nick Sirianni, you heard him on the win. This is the Rothman Orthopaedics locker room report, ladies and gentlemen. You heard him on the win. How about Nick Sirianni talking about how they felt and why they felt they could run the football against the number one run defense in the NFL?
Why was it that you thought that you guys could run on them?
I think Jalen is a special player that forces defenses to play different. And so you look at the tape, and again, I think I told you guys early in the week that you look at the stats, you look at where they are, you look at their defense, but you also want to do what you do well. And so we know we've been running the ball well, and it's a little different when Jalen's in there. And so you try to look at some teams that they've played that are similar to that, but you want to make them stop that, what you do well first, and that's definitely what our goal was going out there.
If you have Jalen Hurts confusing defenses and always realizing that they got to stay with him and they have to guard against him and they have to always make sure that they're not going to let him break one. I mean, Miles Sanders also said it after the game. It's like with Jalen Hurts back there, it just confuses defenses. They're unsure. It takes away all their confidence, basically. And there was a point, actually, this is just jumping back in my brain right now. See if I can find it in my long list of notes here. There was a play yesterday where I swear if there was a record for mesh point of a RPO, when the quarterback is holding the ball in the gut of the running back and you're like, is it a run or is it a pass? Who's running? Who's keeping it? What's happening? When that mesh point, it's only supposed to last like a second at most. This was in the gut of Miles Sanders for maybe 3 seconds. Like, that's got to be a record. And then it ended up being a keeper by Jalen Hurts. He ended up getting a gain out of it. When you got to concentrate that long on your quarterback reading the D end or whoever the edge rusher is in this situation, which is what he's doing during the RPO, that presents a lot of problems. And that's why they're able to have so much success in this game and why they have been so much success with Jalen Hurts, because Jalen Hurts just provides a lot of different threats for a defense. 1, is he going to hand it off? 2, is he going to run with it? 3, is he going to throw it? What's he going to do with it? That's how many things you're going through your mind if you're the pursuing defensive player in that situation. This is something that I know a lot of people will really like. and I'm going to follow it with something that you might not like, but here it is. Nick Sirianni was asked after the game about the identity of his team, and he got into a little bit more than, talking about resiliency, like you just heard him talk about. Here's what he got into when it came to another identity of this team and what it means right now to be a Philadelphia Eagle.
I just think we have tough guys on this team, and that's important. I think I've talked about this before with you guys, that when you get on the bus to come to the game, I know I'm just kind of speaking in the terms of bus. We didn't take a bus here, but when you get on the bus to go to the game, you never want to go to that game without your guys that are tough. And I just feel like that's a common denominator of a lot of the guys on this football team. We got tough, gritty guys, and that's going to win you a lot of football games. That's going to help you win a lot of football games throughout. And so that's just something, when you're physical and when you're tough, that's just something throughout the history of football that is shown to help you win games. And that's in my experience with players, is like the guys that I'm like, man, this is one of my favorite guys I've ever coached. That common denominator is that they're tough and they're nasty and they're physical.
I think that is on par, and I'm saying this in a good way. I'm not saying this in a negative way. Chip Kelly made a great point when Chip Kelly said, big people push around little people. Well, that's more or less what Nick Sirianni is saying right here. Tough people push around weak people. And that's what you saw yesterday. And that's why the Eagles have been having so much success. They looked at this team, they looked at the roster, and the one thing Howie Roseman always goes by, you talk about offensive linemen, defensive linemen, putting money in your trenches and all that stuff. They said, all right, well, let's use that money. Let's use the people that we're paying here. You saw Fletcher Cox get into the backfield. You saw a very aggressive defensive front, 8 men in the box. Like, you saw a very good Eagles defense play yesterday, mostly in the trenches. You saw an offensive line giving Jalen Hurts all day to throw, holding their blocks. Yeah, sure, those Saints were rushing 4 most of the time, but each time you saw Jordan Mailata, you saw Lane Johnson, Jason Kelsey, you saw the entire offensive line, Jack Driscoll, Landon Dickerson, holding their blocks throughout this game, throughout the entire game. All day to throw for Jalen Hurts. And you continuously see that, that means you're pretty damn tough. If you're holding the opposition's line at bay, you're controlling the line of scrimmage, which is how you win football games, 101. Control that line of scrimmage. Eagles dominated the line of scrimmage yesterday, mostly on the offensive side when they do it with the offensive line. And that's what Nick Sirianni is talking about right there, how tough his offensive line is. How tough his receivers are, how tough his quarterback is, how tough his running backs are. That's what he's getting into. And if I can say one thing and single out one more person, defensively speaking, TJ Edwards has been playing really good football over the last couple of weeks. And yesterday he had the interception, which was great. He also had a situation yesterday where, again, Trevor Siemian made that incredible throw that actually spun him around. But, there's not much you could do when a throw is that perfect. But throughout this game, you're seeing him get in on plays. You're seeing him get into the backfield on blitzes. You're seeing him break up plays. You're seeing him pick up a fumble. Like, the way they played yesterday as a team centered a lot around how their linebacking core was actually playing. And I can't remember the last time I said that about an Eagles linebacking core. TJ Edwards has emerged as a pretty good linebacker. I mean, imagine this. Imagine not only could you get a franchise quarterback out of this season, imagine you actually have a pretty damn good linebacker out of this season as well. I'll take that. We'll get to the chat in a second. So that was Nick Sirianni had to say. That's what a lot of people would like, hearing him talk about how tough his team is. This is him when he was asked about how deflating it was if you're a Saints player when Jalen Hurts makes that run where he breaks the ankles of Granderson and runs it in for that touchdown. He was asked specifically about Jalen Hurts and what Jalen Hurts did on that play and how deflating that can be to a Saints team that is in the midst of scoring, 22 unanswered points? He was asked about Jalen Hurts. He took it in another direction. Take a listen to this.
I got too conservative. I'll say that right now. I'll say that out loud. I got a little bit too conservative with the play calling. That kind of allowed them to work their way back into the game, and so that's on me. But Jalen made a huge play. I'd also like to, and they had to. The guy read the play pretty well, and he made a great move. It was awesome. I mean, it was a great individual play by Jalen. I'd also like to recognize JJ's play that he made in a critical time, right? Because I think everybody in the stadium felt and you guys probably felt it kind of slipping a little bit, right? They were coming back into the game, and we needed it. Was it 23-yard, 26-yard gain? I don't know what it was, but a big-time play by a guy that's had a tough week. And I don't want to give his personal information out, so I'm not going to, but he's had a tough week. And for him to go out and make the type of play that he made right there, it was like, I love JJ. I think he embodies the toughness of this city and this football team. Like, he's been asked to do things that, that he hasn't been asked to do before. He's been asked to be a special teams guy that really is gritty and tough, because he has that in his body. And he's been asked to be our blocking type of receiver in critical times. So it was great to reward him with a catch in that scenario. I'm just so happy for him that he made that type of play and help kind of stop the bleeding in that drive and make a big play to help us kind of put that game away. We'll vote. We always vote for player of the game. We always vote for play of the game. That for sure. I guess I got the trump card because I'm the head coach, so that will be the play. That's going to be the play of the game. I'll tell Shane that on my way home.
Eagles are running the football more than I've ever seen in my entire life. The defense is all of a sudden blitzing. Nick Sirianni looks like a genius. They probably have a franchise quarterback in Jalen Hurts. They got a linebacker in TJ Edwards. And J.J. Arcega-Whiteside's getting a game ball. Dogs and cats living together. Mass hysteria. I feel like I'm losing my marbles, people. And I'm happy about it. I could be more happy to be crazy. Like, we're all seeing this, right? Like, this is actually happening. Like, pinch me type of moment. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, 23-yard gain, by the way, is what it was. And we all kind of looked at it and was like, was that J.J. Arcega? No. And everyone's like just thinking of him with his mom holding the umbrella over him. Like, if that picture didn't exist. I was there that day, and I just looked and I was like, I hope nobody takes a picture. Oh, it's already viral. But obviously the lack of production is more what people are focusing on. If you have 10 umbrellas over you on a sunny day if you're going to produce. But you see that play that he made. It was a huge play. It was a great gain for him. It was a great job by him, and it did help engineer what ended up being the game-sealing drive, I'll call it. Because at that point in the game, it's 33-22. Eagles get the ball back. I believe it was a 9-play drive that they put together that was capped off by Jalen Hurts' touchdown run. But it was really started with that play on a 2nd and 11, I want to say it was. 2nd and 11 with J.J. Arcega's 23-yard reception, which, by the way, was mostly yards after the catch that he got. So that was great. I will say, Jalen Hurts' passing stat line would look a lot better if J.J. Arcega-Whiteside would have held his block after the offensive pass interference call in the red zone on Devontae Smith, which, come on, I don't understand what it is with wide receivers. You got to make that rub route a little bit more subtle. Like, you can't run up to the guy like you're setting a screen in basketball, right? You got to kind of, did I happen to hit you? Did I happen? Miss Scusi, didn't mean to hit you. But when you look at that particular play, I don't know why wide receivers on this team have such an issue with that. It's happened. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside's been called for it, as a matter of fact. So after that offensive pass interference by Devontae Smith in the red zone, you see Jalen Hurts go back to Devontae Smith on the screen. And they run him to the outside. The whole offensive line, for the most part, is in front of him blocking. If you look at the freeze frame, because they showed the replay on the broadcast, and if you look at just the freeze frame of it, you look at Devontae Smith in the open field and you go, he's got 4 guys ahead of him. Or 5 guys, 3 Eagles in front of him, all with their blocks sealed. And the guy that actually made the play was on the outside of it. But J.J. Arcega-Whiteside didn't hold his block, so Devontae Smith, he ended up making the tackle, so Devontae Smith didn't get to the end zone. And I'm thinking to myself, J.J. hold that block, all of a sudden you got a passing touchdown on the board there for Jalen Hurts. So we'll keep our fingers crossed for that, for that in the future he's able to do that. But not going to take away from it. That was a play of the game. He's going to get a game ball. Good for J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. That's nice to see. As for some other people that spoke to the media yesterday after the game, this is one of the reasons. Like, you look at the production on the field from Jalen Hurts, and this guy doesn't give a damn about it unless they win. Great celebration. Fan apparently threw him his jersey. Jalen Hurts held it up. That's pretty awesome, right? Well, Jalen Hurts was asked about whether or not he saw his own play, and this was pretty wild. Listen to Jalen Hurts when he was asked about his juke move on Granderson.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. What was that move? What led to it?
I just made a play. I look at it as a situation in the game. We obviously had drives. I'm kind of frustrated. I'm really frustrated from the drives that we didn't score in the red zone that we should have. We had a few mental errors, a few things that we could have controlled that did not go. We could have controlled and it didn't happen. We didn't execute. And then it allowed them to come back into the game. We kept giving them good field position, and they scored. And it shouldn't even been that way, but nonetheless, I just think there's so much to learn from this game, and there's a lot of good to take away from the game too.
Come on. There we go. Sorry, little delay. Mic shut off. That's it. That's a system problem. It's not a microphone problem. New mic is still working great. All right. But I showed you guys me hitting a foul shot. My fat ass shooting a foul shot at the Wells Fargo Center. And I'm like, yeah, woo, look at me. Jalen Hurts, professional NFL quarterback, fighting for a franchise job with the Eagles, jukes a professional football player out of his socks and scores a touchdown that ices the game for the Eagles. And he's like, no, I didn't see it. Did we win? Okay, cool, we won. I'm really not taken by stuff that I do on the football field. I just care about wins and losses. Is that not what we crave in this city? A guy that's like, yeah, I don't really care about what I did, but you see this other thing, and I don't care about that, but you see we won? That's great. Or, hey, Jalen, you threw 250 yards, 300 yards, 2 touchdowns. You played great. What do you think? Did we win? No, don't care. Jalen Hurts is what we crave in this city from our professional athletes. Accountable, only caring about wins and losses, student of the game, keeping in touch with the Manning family to break down film and be mentored by them. He is everything you love in an athlete and everything you specifically love in a quarterback. How do they go wrong? My argument last week was Jalen Hurts has done a hell of a lot more this season to climb the mountain as to whether or not he's a franchise quarterback than he has to fall down that mountain and go, so when's Minshew playing? He's done a hell of a lot more to cement himself as a franchise quarterback than he has to lose that position. So for me, I am on board with Jalen Hurts for at very least one more year. And using those 3 first-round draft picks on defensive players, please, let's make that happen. But hey, you might have a linebacker in TJ Edwards as well. TJ Edwards fighting for a franchise linebacker position. Let's see if he can do that. So that's just all the more reason why I love Jalen Hurts. I've been rooting hard for him all season long. I thought this was great. Lane Johnson, after he finally went back and saw the play, here's what Lane Johnson had to say about Jalen's move.
He hit that L1 juke, and I was that mean man. Ain't no way, boy. That's what I couldn't even tell where he was. I was blocking. Next thing I know, he sticks in the ground and pulls it for big time play. So yeah.
Steady emotionally, Jalen. Was he like extra hyped after that touchdown run?
No, not really. Yeah, he don't. Just pretty even killed. Every day, same demeanor, same. And really, since he's been here, he's always the same.
I absolutely love the way these guys talk about him. And anytime you make a Madden reference, L1 juke, I'm in. You have my attention. Also, I wanted to make sure I got this get this to you as well. So Miles Sanders. Oh, one more on Jalen Hurts' juke. I'm sorry. Avante Maddox also talked about Jalen Hurts' juke, and here's what he said when he watched it on the Jumbotron. Oh, he was also asked whether or not he watches Jalen Hurts when he's on offense or if he's busy doing something else. Listen to this.
I always watch Jalen. I'm looking at the Jumbotron, and then when I seen him make that move, I was like, oh, snap. I was looking for the trainer so I can grab some tape to, help that kid ankles. But I mean, even if that was me out there, I probably would have been calling to somebody else to take me up. So, he's definitely dynamic, and, one is always a baller, and it's exciting to watch him play.
That's what we're here for. That's what we love to see. This is the last thing I'll show you guys here. And this is from Miles Sanders. And this is what he was asked about Jalen Hurts as a leader. You guys, we have an audio issue there, PJ? Am I a little low? I'm going to try to turn a little gain. No, just okay, go with that. Little gain, I'll sound like Jim Nantz. Hello, friends. So here's what I got for you. This is Miles Sanders. He was asked point blank yesterday about he was asked about Jalen Hurts, the leader. Jalen Hurts in the locker room. And here's what Miles Sanders said about that.
You can kind of sense it on the field. You know, he's a field general. He likes to control things. It's just natural for him. He doesn't force anything. He has that natural leadership type. I can't really explain it, but I love it. I love everything about him. I love how he carries himself, and we just follow right behind him. He has a lot of respect throughout the building, and he definitely got a lot of respect out of me. I trust him. He trusts me, and that's all I can really say. I love that guy.
You gotta love him. You gotta love it, and that's exactly what you want your teammates to be saying about you. If you're fighting to be a leader, fighting to be, I mean, he's already a leader, but fighting to be the franchise quarterback, and that's the way the question was posed. I think it was Bo Wolf of The Athletic that actually said, a lot of conversation outside the NovaCare complex is whether or not Jalen Hurts is a franchise guy. What is he to you? And he was like, he's a leader. He's my guy. He's my leader. He's respected, well respected in the locker room and all that stuff. And that's exactly what you want to hear. So credit to him. That was our Rothman Orthopaedics locker room report, brought to you by Rothman Orthopaedics. When you have an orthopedic issue, you need a physician who eats, sleeps, and breathes orthopedics. You need an exceptionally specialized Rothman Orthopaedics physician. They not only specialize in orthopedics, but each of their physicians only focuses in on one area of the body, which means you can have the confidence to get past the pain and be what you were. Visit them at one of their 30-plus locations in Pennsylvania and New Jersey, including 4 orthopedic-only urgent cares. Learn more at RothmanOrtho.com. How about BetQL? If you want to get the edge over your sportsbook, you need to download the BetQL app, the only app you'll need to make the smart bets. Their Best Bets computer model scans over 350,000 unique bets per year to give you the best bet recommendation for every game across all major sports, and they give you the reasoning behind why you should place that bet. Their model covers everything from point spreads, over-unders, player prop bets as well. And if you don't want to use their model and prefer to do your own research, BetQL has all the necessary tools for your betting research needs. Everything from chart data, line movement, team summaries, lineups, injuries, breaking news, and even a leaderboard to track your own success. Head to the App Store or Google Play Store right now to download the BetQL app. How about Steak in Maine in the heart of Northeast Maryland? Check them out at steakandmaine.com. Whether you like to dine in their upscale steakhouse, their casual bar and patio, you'll enjoy prime cuts of meat, fresh seafood, and freshly prepared sushi. I tell you all the time about the party table in the back. It rotates, people. Go ahead and share them apps. Can't finish your steak? Come on, finish your steak. But if you can't, spin the table. Offer it to a friend or family member, someone you're partying with. Have yourself a great time. I always recommend the 2-pound tomahawk steak with a nice Pinot Noir from Cavada Cellars Wines. Ooh, what a treat that is. I'll be enjoying that on the way back from Thanksgiving. That's right, the way back from Thanksgiving, because I'm a fat bastard. But make sure you enjoy Steak in Maine. Steakandmaine.com. My man Tony Cavada hooks it up with some delicious meals. Voted #1 place for steaks in America by the Travel Channel and the Food Network as well. So make sure you check it out, steakandmaine.com, for more information. How about the great people of WinView, the only game where fans can take on other fans and end the debate once and for all? Who is the biggest sports fan? If you have friends and family, you think they know everything, play them a little WinView contest. See if they can walk the walk as well as they talk the talk. Want to break the monotony of family dinners and get-togethers with the holidays around the corner? WinView is the perfect way to do that. Play a quarter of Monday Night Football, a little skin in the game right there. It's not a sports book. It's not daily fantasy. It's simply a social gaming app where you can win real money prizes by making predictions on the games that you love. So make sure you download the WinView app right now. And also, I want to acknowledge our friends at PHL Sports Nation, Philadelphia Sports Nation, enhancing our Philadelphia sports fan experience. Before I jump into our social media check-in, I do want to play this for you. Set the scene for you. Javon Hargrave just got nicked for a penalty. That I thought was BS. Was it technically helmet-to-helmet? There was some helmet-to-helmet involved. But he got flagged for a roughing the passer penalty. It was a bang-bang play, even more so than Derek Barnett's bang-bang play against the Broncos. Say bang-bang one more time. Bang-bang play. Here is the woman, the first lady of Philadelphia sports. I grabbed this off the old TV yesterday, ended up doing well on social media. If anyone knows her, just tell her that we all love her and that I want her on the show as fast as humanly possible. If you haven't seen her yet, here she is. I will say this, there's no volume, but you can read her lips pretty well. You get the idea. If everyone knows her, I want her on the show. I watched that yesterday, and I just thought, like I said, Wayne's World, Dreamweaver, I believe you could get me through the night. There you go. Thank you. I'm here for it. I'll say it one more time. I think I've said that 1,000 times on today's show. I'm saying it again. Let's jump into our social media check-in brought to you by Steak and Main at steakandmain.com. Oh, we got people acknowledging JJ, I think a Whiteside MVP from yesterday. Mally, you crazy. Jack, what's happening? Ryan, good morning. April, what's going on? Rusty like the Tin Man. I agree with you as far as Miles Sanders goes. Mally, -2 fumble. Sanders look good, energetic, definitely. Mopar, JJ, I think a Whiteside had what I considered a Farzy of a day. 1 catch, 1 shirt, but it was exciting. I'm going to take a picture of all my shirts outside the studio. Just put it up on the old screen there for you maybe tomorrow. First time, real good opportunity. What's up, Dan Schwartz? John Cheeseborough. What's the point of Jalen Reagor? I don't know. I wish I knew, but I don't know. Jalen Reagor is pouring coffee on your cereal. John, that sounds gross. And that's also sounds very insulting. Jalen Reagor is like a big nerd that tries to host a sports talk show. I can identify with that. Dan Schwartz, the Grim Reagor. I like it. He can kill an offense if you see him too much. I agree with that. JC, loving the pivot to Rager, excuse me. Mally's killing it today. He absolutely is. What's up, Rick? Benny, what's going on? Nice to have you back. Ronald, what's going on? Jordan Mailata, Freddie Krueger. Very nice, Mopar. April, big play slay all day yesterday. Ronald, how do you feel about Gannon yesterday? I feel good about Gannon yesterday. It's the second time second time. We've seen a really third time if you include the Chargers game, but they really didn't get home. But it's like the third time we've watched a really aggressive defense, and that's great to see. Jalen Reagor is trying to put Shannon Sharp in the captions. Very nice, John. Mally, JC, that is impossible. I don't think Shannon understand half the poop he says. Talking about Shannon Sharp. Humble Philly Bull. I'm still not sold on Hurts, this team. And definitely not Howie Roseman because of the 18 draft. He still sucks. I will say play calling on the offense has been much better. That's probably been the most improved thing because I think that puts Jalen Hurts in such a better spot. And I think it took a while for Nick Sirianni to figure that out. Mally, Jalen Reagor is like drafting a firefighter in the first round. John Cheeseborough. Jalen Reagor is like making an offensive line coach or defensive coordinator. You guys are on fire with this. April, he buying kids again. Dan Schwartz, Reagor loves Steven Singer. The nerve of that guy. The only person who likes Reagor is the guy who washes the uniforms after the game since he never gets dirty. Jim, very nice. Mally, Jalen Reagor is the sports talk guy who takes jump shots and gloats about it. Mine wasn't a jump shot, for the record. Mine was a foul shot. Even fatter and lazier. Thank you. Wow, Macho Harris better than Jalen Reagor. Jim, you're an animal. CJ Gatis. Wow, John, better than Jalen Reagor. That's a pull. Todd Pinkston. I want to get Todd Pinkston on the show. I got a number for him. Maybe before Washington week, because we all know about the famous play. Cecil, what's up, Cecil? Nice to have you on the program. JMC, good morning, Farzy crew. Good morning, JMC. Gabe, what's going on? Gabe, welcome in. Don Vito, PJ have some. No, PJ didn't do anything. Cecil or Gabe, excuse me. That was on me. Long story short, Gabe Mitchell, he refuses to help April, who lives in North Carolina. I missed that. Sorry, guys. Come on, Farzy, you need to have a longer show. In due time. No. Yeah, okay, so I think I think the clips were low, is what people are telling me, the volume on the clips. I'll figure out a way to fix that. Marc, you need to balance the audio. JC, if I had any idea what that means, I would do it. If it makes a better show, I would do it. Who does the balancing audio? That was me. That's on me, 100%. That's not Jim. That's not PJ. I take full responsibility. I got to do a better job putting my levels in a better position to be more even. Let's see. Lane's volume is very low. What if I just told you all these guys whisper after the game? Would that sell it to you? No? Cecil. No, you're high, Marc. Thank you. I wish I was. You guys are just on fire. Rager is Sealski's kids misbehaving while you babysit them. That's for you, PJ. Dan Schwartz, way to cap it off there. Marc singing, not. I'd rather buy a JJ Arthego Whiteside jersey. You didn't like, I don't even know who does Dreamweaver. Who does that song? I had it pulled up here. Gary Wright or Cassandra and Crucial Taunt. There you go. Anyway, you didn't like my falsetto? I take great offense to that. It's almost like somebody insulting my form in a foul shot. Jalen Rager hates Thanksgiving. Thank you, Dan. That'll round it out. That's our social media check-in brought to you by Steak and Maine at steakandmaine.com. Morning Rush segment brought to you by the great people at Sky Motor Cars and SkyMotorCars.com. I'll tell you this. Avonte Maddox, he's a Sky Motor Cars guy. He's going to be getting no big rides now, man, with that deal. We do want to highlight that in our Morning Rush. Avonte Maddox, 3 years, Avonte Maddox, $22.5 million over 3 years, $13.3 million guaranteed. Dallas Goedert, 4 years, $57 million. You know that guy in the meme that's standing behind the tree and he's got like that like yellow suit on? And he's like, he's like looking real longingly, like he's, like that. Those are Nerf executives looking at the fact that Avonte Maddox and Dallas Goedert now live in a $79 million estate. They're going to buy a lot of Nerf guns, is what I'm telling you, because they like to play real-life Fortnite. That's an old story from a long time ago, but it's the truth. So congratulations to Nerf on the money they're going to make off those two. Two big kids that own a house together, or rent a house together. I can't imagine the hijinks that's going to go on there. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, everybody. Catch me, Chris DeGaulle. I'll be on with the Chris DeGaulle show coming up in a couple of minutes. All it's on 990 The Answer, and then I'll also be on Fox 29 today with Alex and Mike and my good friend Gary Cobb as well. So if you like me, there's more of me coming up very soon. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. I'll work on those audio levels. Again, that's 100% on me. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks to Jim Hyden, produced the program. This is a Buzz Sports Entertainment production. Have a great day, everybody. Talk to you guys tomorrow. See ya.